The football world has been left in absolute shock tonight. Cristiano Ronaldo, the five-time Ballon d'Or winner, the man who has defined an era of football alongside his greatest rival, has just broken his silence in a way that nobody expected. In an explosive, tell-all interview that has sent shockwaves through every corner of the sport, Ronaldo has made a stunning confession about Lionel Messi, a confession that has left fans, pundits, and fellow players completely speechless. For nearly 2 decades, the rivalry between Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi has been the defining narrative of football. They have pushed each other to unimaginable heights. They have broken every record imaginable. They have won everything there is to win. But behind the scenes, the tension has been palpable. The media has pitted them against each other. The fans have chosen sides. And the world has watched their every move with obsessive fascination. But now, for the first time, Ronaldo has opened up about his true feelings towards his eternal rival. He has spoken about the respect, the admiration, and the unexpected bond that has formed between them over the years. And what he said has stunned the football world. This isn't just a story about two footballers. This is a story about legacy, rivalry, and a human connection that transcends sport. This is the story of what Cristiano Ronaldo just said about Lionel Messi, and it will change the way you see them forever. To understand the magnitude of Ronaldo's confession, we have to go back to the beginning. The year was 2008. Cristiano Ronaldo was at Manchester United, a young Portuguese winger with a step-over that could break ankles and a confidence that bordered on arrogance. He had just won his first Ballon d'Or, and the world was at his feet. Meanwhile, across the border in Spain, a shy Argentine named Lionel Messi was quietly dismantling defenses at Barcelona. He was just 20 years old, but he had already shown glimpses of the genius that would define an era. The rivalry started slowly. At first, it was just about who could score more goals. Then it became about who could win more trophies. Then it became about who was the greatest of all time. And before anyone knew it, the entire football world had chosen sides. You were either in the Ronaldo camp or the Messi camp. There was no middle ground. The debate consumed every bar, every living room, and every social media feed on the planet. The statistics were staggering. Ronaldo scored over 800 career goals. Messi scored over 800 career goals. They won Ballon d'Or after Ballon d'Or, sharing the trophy between them for a decade. They broke every record in the Champions League, La Liga, and international football. They pushed each other to heights that seemed impossible. And they did it all while being constantly compared to each other. But behind the scenes, the relationship was complicated. The media loved to paint them as enemies, as bitter rivals who couldn't stand each other. There were stories of cold stares in corridors, of ignored handshakes, and of heated confrontations on the pitch. The narrative was juicy, dramatic, and endlessly entertaining. But was it true? Was there really hatred between the two greatest players of all time? Or was there something else? Something deeper and more complex? The interview was supposed to be a routine promotional event. Cristiano Ronaldo was sitting down with a respected journalist to discuss his career, his future, and his legacy. But then, the journalist asked the question that everyone had been waiting for. The question that Ronaldo had dodged for years. The question that could change everything. Cristiano, the journalist asked, after all these years, after all the battles, what do you really think of Lionel Messi? For a moment, Ronaldo was silent. The room held its breath. And then, he began to speak. And what he said left everyone in complete shock. I have to be honest, Ronaldo said, his voice soft and sincere. At the beginning, we were rivals. We didn't like each other. There was tension. There was jealousy, there was a constant battle for supremacy. But as the years went on, something changed. I started to realize that he wasn't my enemy. He was my mirror. He pushed me to be better. He forced me to evolve. He made me the player I am today. The interviewer was stunned. So you respect him? Ronaldo nodded. Respect? I admire him. He's the greatest player I have ever seen. What he did, what he continues to do, is beyond comprehension. We have shared the stage for nearly 20 years. That is not a rivalry. That is a privilege. And I am grateful for every moment of it. The world exploded. Within minutes, the clip went viral. Fans who had spent years arguing over who was better were forced to confront a reality that was far more beautiful than they had imagined. Ronaldo didn't just respect Messi. He admired him. He wasn't bitter. He was grateful. It was a confession that humanized the two legends in a way that nothing else had ever done. Ronaldo leaned closer to the camera, his eyes intense, his voice lowering to a near whisper. The real truth is that we are not so different, he said. We both come from humble beginnings. We both sacrificed everything for this sport. We both lost parts of our lives that we can never get back. And in the end, we are both just men who love football. He paused, collecting his thoughts. I remember a moment years ago when we met at an award ceremony. It was late, everyone had left, and we were standing alone in a corridor. We didn't say much, but we looked at each other, and we both knew. We knew that we had given everything to this game. We knew that we had pushed each other to greatness. And in that moment, the rivalry didn't matter anymore. What mattered was the respect. The journalist was speechless. So you consider him a friend? Ronaldo's Milit. I consider him a brother in arms. We're not best friends. We don't have dinner together. But we share something that few people will ever understand. We share a journey. We share a legacy. And when we both retire, people will look back and remember us together. That is not something to be bitter about. That is something to celebrate. The interview ended, but the impact was just beginning. Fans across the world were in tears. Pundits struggled to find the right words. And social media was flooded with messages of love and respect for both legends. It was a moment of unity in a sport that often divides. And it was a reminder that behind the statistics, the trophies, and the rivalries, there are two human beings who have given their lives to the game we love. It didn't take long for Lionel Messi to respond. Within hours of Ronaldo's interview going viral, Messi was asked about it during a press conference. The room was packed. Journalists jostled for position. And Messi, ever the quiet one, took a deep breath before answering. I saw the interview, Messi said, a small smile playing on his lips. I was surprised, but I was also grateful. Cristiano Ronaldo legend. He has achieved things that few people can even dream of. And everything he said is true. We have shared this stage for so long. We have pushed each other. We have grown together. And I have nothing but respect for him. The room erupted. So you consider him a rival? A journalist asked. Messi shook his head. I consider him a motivation. Every time he won, it pushed me to work harder. Every time I won, I knew he would come back stronger. That is not a rivalry of hatred. That is a rivalry of greatness. And I am proud to have shared this journey with him. For years, the football world had waited for a moment like this. Two legends, setting aside their egos, acknowledging the role they played in each other's success. It was a moment of grace, of humility, and of profound respect. And it was a reminder that in the end, the greatest rivalries are built on the deepest admiration. The moment went viral. The two clips, Ronaldo's confession and Messi's response, were shared millions of times. Fans who had spent years arguing over who was better finally found common ground. The world had witnessed something rare and beautiful, a reconciliation between two legends who had defined a generation. As the dust settles on Ronaldo's explosive interview, the football world is reflecting on the incredible journey that Ronaldo and Messi have taken us on. It has been nearly 2 decades of breathtaking goals, impossible comebacks, and record-shattering achievements. It has been the defining era of modern football. And as both players approach the twilight of their careers, the world is coming to terms with the fact that soon they will both be gone. Ronaldo is now 39. Messi is 39. They are no longer the young prodigies who took the world by storm. They are veterans, legends, and icons of sport. Their primes have passed. Their bodies are slowing down. And soon, they will hang up their boots and walk away from the game they have given everything to. But their legacy will live on forever. They have inspired millions. They have redefined what is possible. They have shown us that greatness is not just about talent. It is about hard work, dedication, and an unrelenting pursuit of excellence. And they have done it all while being compared to each other, pushed by each other, and elevated by each other. In the end, the rivalry between Ronaldo and Messi was not about hatred. It was about respect. It was about two men who understood that they were part of something bigger than themselves. It was about two legends who defined an era and changed the sport forever. And now, with Ronaldo's stunning confession, we have finally seen the truth. The rivalry was never about winning. It was about the journey. It was about the privilege of sharing the stage with greatness. And it was about the bond that only two people who have been through the same fire can truly understand.